I was watching a video where this guy was basically talking about his addiction to pornography and masturbation. And the way in which he described it is a way that I've never heard this particular aspect of it be described ever. I don't think I've ever heard it be described before, but this, I feel like, altered my brain chemistry a little bit in a positive way. He talked about the idea of a soul tie. I'll insert that video here.
Was addicted to porn from 7th grade through college. And for years, I kept asking God, why can't I break free? I stopped for a few days, sometimes even a month or two, and think, okay, this is finally over. Then somehow, I fall right back into it again. And I didn't understand why, because I thought I was only fighting lust. But eventually, God showed me I was fighting a soul tie. See, a soul tie is when something or someone becomes deeply attached to your mind, will, and emotions. And porn does exactly that. That's why there are moments where you don't even want to go back. But suddenly, your mind starts to get curious again.
Essentially, it's, a lot of us, when we're overcoming these addictions, we tend to hyper-focus on the surface level things. What are we fighting? We're fighting lust, we're fighting urges, we're fighting bad habits. But we don't talk about what we're fighting within. And in my case, in a lot of ways, there are times, a lot of times, the strongest pulls back to my bad habit are pulls that stem from this idea of being attached to another person so deeply, that, and it could be a thing that builds subconsciously, not necessarily intentionally, because you have associated this habit, which releases these bonding chemicals in your brain, to these people. All of a sudden you're attached to them and you're wondering why you keep getting an urge and thinking about those specific people. That's been my experience thus far with this addiction. You start to realize through thinking that way that your addiction was never about, a healthy way to explore your sexuality. It was you trying to find love through these videos or whatever, through lust, you know, um, through sex, whatever. And this was what you felt like was your best option at that. And I might be straying a little away from what I initially was trying to talk about, but it's just this idea of attachment to me that I've never heard be described before until this one guy on Instagram popped onto my feed. And it's interesting because I've been to psychiatrists, I've been to therapists, and if I was able to articulate this kind of an issue, maybe it could have helped me a lot, because it's unhealthy attachments. How can I break free from unhealthy attachments, that keep leading me back to this thing that I'm not proud of, that I don't identify with? And I think once you start to understand that and break that down a little more, if this is your particular struggle with this problem, you might be closer to finding the answer and the solution.